What's going on, you guys? My name is Jordan and this is my Civic SI. If you guys caught the last couple videos, you'll know that I'm actually wrapping my SI right now. As you guys can see, we got the wrap already measured and laid out on the car. Before we begin working, I'm actually gonna take the wrap off the car so I can wipe it down with some 70% isopropyl alcohol. So I'm gonna go ahead and get the car all wiped down so we can begin working. Alright, you guys, as you can see, we got the rear quarter panel all finished up. I'm actually gonna pull the car out into the driveway like I normally do just to get some photos and videos of how they turned out. So with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and get my SI all started up. What's going on, you guys? It's actually the next morning, but as you guys can see, we got the driver's side rear quarter panel all finished up. So today I figured we work on getting the driver's side door done. Justin's actually finishing up his last exam for school right now, so I figured while he's gone, I'd get the door prepped and ready for a wrap. If you guys happen to catch that last video, you'll know removing the door card isn't too hard of a process. So the first thing I'm gonna go ahead and do is get the door card taken off. As you guys can see, we got the door card all taken off. I just got it chilling over there. Now I'm gonna go ahead and work on getting the side mirror taken off. Once you get the door card up, it's as simple as popping up the trim that's just holding this speaker in. Underneath that trim is going to be 3 bolts, 1, 2, and 3. As soon as you get these 3 bolts taken out, the mirror will simply just pop out. And the last thing we're going to go ahead and work on before Justin gets home is removing the door handle. This process was a little bit more difficult just because you do have to cut to get your hand behind here. I'm going to go ahead and make an incision to see if I can get the camera behind there to show you guys exactly what clip you'll be having to remove. If you guys can see in there, there's actually a clip in there holding the door handle on. I'm going to go ahead and work on getting that removed now. And once you guys get this clip removed, there's actually going to be a 10 mil behind a trim right here. As you guys can tell, since I'm not holding the camera anymore, Justin's home from school now. So now that we got the car all cleaned up, we're gonna go ahead and lay the wrap on the car and begin working. Now that we got the wrap all cut and thrown on the car, there's a couple things I wanted to talk about real quick before we actually begin wrapping. I'm sure many of you guys can tell that this is mine and my brother's first time wrapping any vehicle. For those of you who may be looking to wrap your car for the first time yourselves, I actually wanted to talk about a couple things that I've struggled with and a few tips that I picked up while wrapping my SI. Personally, one of the biggest challenges I'm faced with is getting nice clean cuts. Although the vinyl wrap kit that I bought did come with some knifeless tape, it isn't the best quality, so as you guys can see, I haven't been using it that much throughout this whole series. That's a big issue why I feel like I'm not getting as clean of cuts as I could because I'm not using the knifeless tape. But I still feel like it's coming out very nicely so far, and you do not need knifeless tape to wrap your car. It just does help make doing some panels a lot easier. Another problem I ran into was wasting a lot of material. When you guys are going to do a big panel on your car like this, it's important to have excess on each side, but you don't want to have too much extra and just be wasting material. I feel like when we started off at first, I was really scared about cutting too short, so I just had a lot of extra on each side. Since we've started wrapping my SI, I feel like we've gotten a lot better about not wasting material. This is super important because you don't want to get to the end of the wrap to go do like your front bumper, for example, and then not have enough wrap. So it's definitely just something to keep in mind while you're wrapping your car. I just wanted to mention a couple of those quick things before we began wrapping the door today. I actually had a lot of you guys reaching out to me asking if I would recommend you wrapping your car yourselves. It is a really time-consuming process, but at the end of the day, you're saving a lot of money doing it yourself. And you're also gaining a lot of experience and new skills as well. So with that being said, let's begin working on the door. So as you guys can see, we are all done with the door. When I start getting the mirror back on, Justin's gonna start working on getting the door handle wrapped. So I'm gonna be using this leftover material that we had cut off to wrap the passenger side mirror. It is looking amazing so far. I'm sure as you guys can tell, we have the spoiler done. I was thinking about actually removing it today so we could possibly work on the trunk. I'm not sure how hard it's gonna be to wrap the trunk, but I figured it would be a lot easier if I just removed the spoiler. I also am a little nervous to when I go to cut this line right here, just because there's not really anything to tuck it into. But now I think I'm just gonna go ahead and get the spoiler removed so that we can begin wrapping the trunk. To remove the OEM spoiler, it's actually pretty simple. You're just gonna kind of want to work your way up with a trim tool to pop this trim up. It's a little hard to film and do at the same time. Let me just see if I can. Just like so. Once you get the trim popped off, there's gonna be two 10 mils, and I believe that is a torque screw, maybe like a T20 or T30. So I'm gonna go ahead and get the trim popped off on the other side and then work my way around and start taking off the spoiler. After a little bit of struggling, we were finally able to get all three of the screws on both sides taken out. It should be as simple as just lifting up on the spoiler. Yep, just as simple as that. And then we'll kind of go ahead and Justin's gonna grab it from me and bring it over there. I've never actually seen how it looks without the spoiler before, and I'm not too big of a fan. It kind of just reminds me of like a base model Civic, not gonna lie. So I'm gonna quickly hurry up and get the trunk cleaned off and wrapped so that I can put the spoiler back on. I went ahead and got the trunk all fully wiped down and cleaned off. What I'm gonna actually go ahead and do is pull Jordan's car forward a little bit just so we would have a little bit more room behind it to work on the trunk. We have this piece right here that honestly should be perfect for what we're trying to do. As you guys can see, we got the top of the trunk all finished up. We're gonna go around with the X-Acto knife to make our cuts. We got the spoiler thrown back on. Now I'm gonna go ahead and put the 10 mils in and then make sure everything's secured down nice and tightly. Alright you guys, so I think that's where we're gonna wrap it up for today's video. If you guys enjoyed, make sure you go down below and drop a like, comment, and subscribe if you're new. If you guys are interested in anything you see on Ravoony's website, make sure you use code FC3J to get 12% off your order. So with that being said, I'll see you guys in the next video.